What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of hopsgeekknews, your home for comic books, movies, TV shows. And today we dive into the Upside Down one last time, as we are going to talk about the Stranger Things finale. We're going to talk about our thoughts, our feelings, spoil away. So make sure you like, subscribe, share, follow everywhere you find us on podcasting platforms, social media platforms. Just search the name hopsgeekknews, Linktree. It's all in the bio. Go ahead, do that. We typically go into what we are drinking, quick beer of the week. We go into some news, what we're reading or watching, main topic. However, today, I believe, man, we're just going to talk some Stranger Things. It has been a journey. 2015 till now, it has been bittersweet to watch yet another TV show, another staple of, such a big part of our lives end. And so without further ado, I am drinking, as Lauren's over there texting away, a Sideward Brewing affinity for the unattainable, and this really feels like it encapsulates a lot of what the finale gave us and what Stranger Things really was about at the end. So, Lauren, what do you got over there?
I actually have Sideward Space Wizard because Will is a wizard.
I almost drank that too, but I didn't. I almost did. Yeah, no. So Sideward's a great brewery in Orlando, Florida. If you're ever in the Milk District, go there. It's great. It's amazing. Highly recommend. 10 out of 10. Great food, great beer. Let's talk Stranger Things. It kind of was weird with how season 5 was. We talked the first 3 episodes. I don't believe we talked episodes 5, 6, 7, and then episode 8 dropped because Christmas night was the 3 releases that they did. And then right a week later was the finale and, Christmas and New Year's and stuff. Things were it was a busy time. So we didn't get a chance to do that. So spoiler-free thoughts first, Lauren. How do you feel about Stranger Things and how it ended?
It was enjoyable, but I didn't feel like I got enough closure. I felt like there were still too many doors open.
Yeah.
I don't want to compare it to Lost because I think Lost was a terrible ending and it made watching the whole show pointless. And I don't feel that about Stranger Things, but I do feel like there was a lot of things that they just didn't explain that just didn't make sense and made me wonder, did I miss something? Am I not following this correctly? But we got closure on the characters, but we didn't get closure on the actual story. I feel like
I would definitely agree with that. So, the whole entire final battle, everything happened. And then we paused it real quick to go to the bathroom, get a drink refill, and there was still 52 minutes left, and we're like, oh my god, there's still an hour almost to go. We wrapped up Vecna, what are we doing now? And so I thought there was a lot of potential, but we all have our own. The internet's been going crazy with Conformity Gate, which first and foremost, man, like not everything is going to end picture perfect the way you have it in your mind. We are always going to have expectations. We're not writing these movies. We're not writing these TV shows. Like, I get it. If you feel so strongly, write some fan fiction, man. Like, go back to Tumblr. That's what we did. That's what we did back in the heyday. Or, write books, something like that. Who knows? Nothing will very rarely do things end in such a satisfying way that pleases everybody.
6 feet under.
Yeah, I mean, Breaking Bad apparently did. Game of Thrones did not.
Did. No. But I also wonder if there's a difference in a show that ends knowing they want to do prequels or sequels or spin-offs or books or comics and a story that is like, this is it, we're done.
Well, right. And so the Duffer Brothers even said that, hey, we are going to do a spinoff. It's going to be about the Rock that we see, but it's not going to have any of these characters. You're never going to see these characters again in live action. Now, they said live action, so that probably means comic books because there's Stranger Things comics out. Who knows? I think a video game could be pretty fun. A Stranger Things video game, like that would be pretty dope.
But I don't play video games.
You don't, but so many people do. Like they would crush if you got to play like a storyline of somebody that was, going through the treatment or the, experiments, and they get out and you get to use some of their powers and there's a storyline in there.
But I don't want it to be a storyline. I mean, I could still watch.
It doesn't have anything to do with like the main thing. I mean, how like Star Wars is, like the Fallen Jedi. You don't play Fallen Order. I mean, with
but I feel like there are things that come up with that where people will reference that in the shows, and I'm missing out on that. And I need to sit down and watch it on YouTube. But
can't explain it all. Yeah, I get it.
It kills me a little that like I feel like there were things that weren't explained because they're waiting to explain them. And so and Breaking Bad like wasn't gonna come out with a comic book or a book or a spinoff. Although
I've never finished that show. I just know that unanimously people love the ending to Breaking Bad.
And ending of Better Call Saul was fantastic too. That's why you got to watch Pluribus because that's Vince Gilligan as well.
Right.
But it's just when it ended, I didn't feel satisfied, and I feel like I was okay with there being more time after Vecna, but I wanted more questions answered, and not just the how does everybody grow up or move on kind of thing.
Agreed. And so let's kind of start with the first hour, because I thought the first hour was really solid. They going to the Upside Down, it's the big fight. They were planning to essentially, we know that the Dimension X is going to converge and it's going to smash.
And they're trying to reconnect Will to the hive mind.
Yes. And so they were using the radio tower, and Hopper obviously gets like his job is protecting Elle. And so him, Elle, and Collie. Yes. You know, and that's another thing. Like the science teacher and Erica played a big part in finding that part into the Upside Down. And so
when I love that the point. Teacher was playing a big part all 5 seasons. So I love that he finally saw that he was actually helping, because he's literally he knew what was going on.
Yeah, he is. Yeah. He was there the whole time.
And he explains the Upside Down in season 1 with a piece of paper and a pencil.
Yeah, essentially, you know, and him and Erica play a pretty big role, but then I guess I had an issue because they both just kind of disappear. I know we saw a clip at the graduation of the science teacher and Murray. Murray was a main character essentially from season 2, you know, and they didn't really they closed his story, but not really. You know, he got that brief moment with the science teacher, but you don't know what Murray did afterwards, even though he was putting his life on the line the whole time. So you didn't really end his story in an explanation. And I get it. Not everybody needs an explanation, but he's a pretty prominent character.
And kudos to the actor too, because he brought so much comic like levity to the show, even in this final season. But then there was a moment, I think it was, there are spoilers from here on out. You said that.
Yes.
The moment in when Callie, I think it's when Callie dies, Murray gives like this like heartfelt apology to like Elle, and like he really sounds like he means it. Like he is just like so sorry for it. And he's like, oh, I'm so sorry. And like he immediately just switched, and like the way the actor just like, we hadn't seen that part of him before. And so I thought that was like such a quick moment, but it was such a moving moment.
It was. And so talking about those two, so we know we've gotten some things with Hopper, and Hopper really was building up. Like he knew about Elle's suicide pact essentially, and he was saying like, hey, you don't have to do this. Like you can make your own choice. And that's kind of, it makes a lot of sense because they do. And so that was like their relationship finding there. Hey, I know what your plan is. I know you're going to want to kill yourself, but you don't have to do that. And so she goes into the tank, and Hopper standing guard and things like that. And I really feel
was
like
phenomenal scene with when Vecna got into his
so I would have loved a lot more of Vecna doing some mind playing horror, because that was awesome, and how he played. And really honestly too, like I like a lot of that. And then Hopper was, I feel like he was just so ready to blow himself up and to kill himself. So for him to be to Elle, hey, you don't have to die, even though it seems like every 5 seconds he's ready to blow himself up.
But it's different. He's the parent. You can't force him to like bury another child.
No, he's already lost. And when Vecna showed him his child,
that was terrible. You didn't think Vecna was a villain before? Holy fudge. That was insane. That was hardcore, like cold.
And it was awesome. And
awesome then to take that and then him think that because he blames himself.
He does. Yeah.
So if anybody doesn't remember, like Hopper blames himself for his daughter getting cancer because he thinks it was from the like Agent Orange or whatever he was exposed to in Vietnam. So like he's like thinks that it was him that was tainted that made her sick. So now he's about to blame himself for the second child. And Vecna even said that. He's like, oh, you killed me, daddy, or whatever the little girl says.
The little girl says like it was his fault. And he ends up shooting the tank and thinks he shot Elle. And for a second there, I thought he did too. I was sucked into that scene.
Got him to freaking ruin the tub.
Yeah, it was probably my favorite sequence of events in the entire finale and final season, to where he's toying with his mind and, you know, doing the illusions.
He did the same thing with his own dad when his dad accidentally killed that baby during, like, I think World War II.
Oh, yeah.
Like, dude, Vecna should not be around people who have PTSD from wars, man. He is cruel.
Well, even Vecna, you know, we thought for a second we were going to get the redemption. But then he basically, like, shout out to Jamie Campbell Bower, who played this scene so well. He's showing so much emotion. And he was like, I want to do this. I want this. We need each other. And me and the Mind Flayer and I, like, we need each other. And I want to do this. I'm doing this because I want to. And I thought that was a really badass moment. And I'm really glad that the Duffer Brothers didn't have him come back to the light, so to speak.
Yeah, I would have hated that. I was like, oh God, you got to be kidding me. But So I guess, are we just jumping all around here? Because I feel like I just have
I
random
guess we kind of
memories.
are. We kind of are. I was trying to talk about the first half, but we're just kind of jumping around. So I apologize in advance to anybody that it's just like, God, guys, stick in a linear method. We're probably not. All right. There's a lot of thoughts, a lot of feelings. So we're just
Well,
kind of
we
jumping.
can
We're
try to
talking about
go
it.
all
I
over the
mean,
place. So yeah, so
I-
episode 5 was Shock Jock, and that's when they're basically doing the tower, and we were just talking about that.
yeah.
The next, though, we do need to talk about this. Chapter 6 was Escape from Camazotz, and this is when Holly and Max are fighting in Vecna's mind, and Elle must find a way into Will's mind. And Joyce is wrestling with guilt. And these are just the Google descriptions, just to kind of refresh our recollection. And Jonathan and Nancy face a turning point. So this episode had some frustrating moments because, one, everyone's screaming at Max to run. Although I don't know that she got out of this one. Maybe she got out in the bridge.
Well, it might have been. No, I thought it was this one. No, it was this one, wasn't it? Because this is when her and Holly are going through. And the one part that everybody's making, obviously, they get out, and then they're having this podcast moment, and for Max to basically be like, "Oh, I'm getting out. You got to find your own way." That was kind of wow, dude. She
wasn't wrong, but she probably should have explained that to her a little bit more. I don't think she
told
meant
her that. She didn't. She wasn't doing it out of ill will at all. No.
But as soon as I realized that, I'm like, her body is not safe in a hospital bed. Like, her body is in the upside down.
And then all of a sudden, Karen Wheeler,
or in this place next to the upside down.
Right. Well, I mean, Karen Wheeler also, the fact that she got slashed in the throat and now all of a sudden she's up and moving and talking, and she was able to kind of put the,
they shouldn't have had her talking, but up and moving, I get it. This was like
up and moving. She's a mom, and
she's not going to lay in the bed, when her children are. And that, I mean, oh my God, that scene was Jurassic Park.
What? Thank you. I'm so glad you said that, because I was thinking that same thing.
Instantly thought that, right? And then Kaylee brought it up too, because like I watched the last one with Kaylee because we were. I'm so
proud of her for bringing that up, because I know you showed that to them for the first time recently.
What, Jurassic Park?
Yeah, wasn't it like Sergio who watched it for the first time recently?
Oh, maybe Kaylee watched it on repeat when she was 3 years old.
I'm so glad that she brought that up. That's awesome.
Yeah. So, and I was like, yes, I saw that too. But yeah, Kaylee, if you text Kaylee, it's the raptor barking. That's her text thing. She's been obsessed with Jurassic Park since she was 3 years old.
She's such a nerd. I love it.
Well, then I used to have her watch the making of it. So she would call the making of it Jurassic Park Toys. So that way she knew that the dinosaurs weren't real and she wasn't scared of the movie. Okay. But I did used to jump in front when the lawyer would get eaten.
But when you gotta go, you gotta go.
Yeah.
Well, it was Jurassic Park. It was the raptor sequence from Jurassic Park 1 when the brother and sister, and everybody was like, well, why didn't they turn off the music? Wouldn't that have attracted them? Well, no, because the music is already playing. So if you turn off the music running up that hill, it would have cued the Demogorgons or Demodogs into like, hey, the music.
I think Lucas just wasn't going to risk it. I think that they probably should have turned it off. But
I would, but when they came in, the music was playing, so I feel like it would have cued them in if the music suddenly stopped. I feel like that would have tipped them off.
I don't know. I think it was just a risk Lucas was willing to take.
I don't blame him though. I mean,
I loved Vicky tho's response to it. Like, what a reasonable response to look. You're on drugs. We're gonna get you help.
Wild work.
And I mean, it made sense though, especially because she had just stolen all those drugs to knock out Derek's family. That's a huge plot hole. So this,
Derek's family, so are they still tied up?
You know what we should have done? We should have played a video of all those wine bottles falling over and playing Sarah McLachlan.
I will. Oh my God.
Oh, I will remember you. That's a good one. But
what happened to Derek's family?
Nobody knows.
And then you see Derek, like Derek's coming down at the very end and he's playing D&D, but his sister just
disbelieve
what happened,
right?
Because it was an earthquake. That's what the town covered it up.
But these parents, really, it's on Erica. I feel like they should have gone after Erica because Erica clearly poisons them. Yeah. And they wake up tied up in a barn, and then they go home and their house is destroyed and all their wine is gone.
Yeah. Yeah. And speaking of too, when we get to the really intense scenes with like Jonathan and Nancy, their breakup scene,
which was confusing.
It was confusing. Like, I thought they were agreeing like they needed to dial back as well because that's what it sounded like. We both, but
no, they said I love you. I've never broken up with somebody and been like, I love you. No.
I definitely took that as hey, like we love each other, but we both need to also be our individuals.
Like we're trauma bonded, and that shouldn't rush us into something. But then it was clear they were broken up at the very end
with the ring, and I also didn't quite understand why everything stopped melting and they suddenly survived. Like that
kind of made sense because like you saw all the other dried stuff, so. Sort of it would have been nice if we got some sort of like, in Doctor Who, how he always explains it, or in the Flash.
I would have loved, I guess not everything needs to be explained, but yeah, some sort of explanation would have been nice.
Dustin could have come up with something. Like, they could have given him some sort of fake
Nano,
science crap.
courtesy of Ray Palmer.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
It's
come on, even
anything,
if it
really.
doesn't make sense, we just want pseudoscience in there
Right.
to explain our sci-fi.
Something, man, like to make sense, because all of a sudden it just stopped and there was no rhyme or reason as to after she shot the big orb that everything just all right, I guess.
I do, you know, people are making fun of the Nancy shooting thing. That's consistent. She's been a great shot since she first got a gun
practices
in
a
past
lot. They show her
seasons.
practicing all the
Yes,
time.
and I actually like that because they even make a comment. They're like, "Oh, well, Nancy must have already shot that thing or whatever." And then I saw a clip of or a picture of Nancy with the gun, and then it was like Rambo, and it was maybe it was like regular, and it was like high def.
Dude, it is. There's no, the believable part is like you can become a good shot with practice, which they clearly show her practicing.
Right.
That
I mean,
I'm
she's
cool
like
with.
95 pounds soking wet. Like, that girl is skinny,
In
but
fair,
doesn't mean
she
she's
shot
not
the shotgun and
badass.
she did fly backwards, so it's not like she shot the shotgun and like
She didn't have a kickback.
yeah, there was a kickback. Like that was fine with that. Nancy's a badass. And
I like when she gave Mike the flamethrowers.
there was a flare
The
gun.
flare gun.
Lucas is like, it's flares, and he's like, what? She gave you a flare gun because he was like, we're gonna go into this and I don't have a gun. Like, come on.
But they're brother and sister. It doesn't matter
what
the stakes are.
Yeah.
Well, she was also mocking him, and that's what you do with little brothers. You look out for them and you mock them in the same tone.
Enjoy that it was like a boss fight from a video game. I don't like that the explanation of the Demogorgons weren't there because Henry didn't expect to get, jumped at his home turf. But it's like, well, I thought we already discovered that the Demogorgons were roaming on their own anyways, but whatever. Fine. I would have loved to have seen some like the stakes a little bit versus a quick 5-minute mind flayer come to life. Everybody's fighting the mind flayer, which felt like a boss fight. I'm down for that. I would have liked to have seen some Demogorgons one last time because they were a prominent figure throughout the entire show, and then they were a prominent figure for the first half of the final season.
It would have been cool if
disappeared.
Dart came back. What if like Vecna went to attack like Dustin and
cool.
Dart showed up? That would have been really cool.
Yeah.
No, I agree. And I feel like when they was the end of season 4 when they like got Vecna, and because they said when he's vulnerable is when he's in the trance, and they attacked him at his old house. Like, they threw everything at him. I feel like that felt more like
that was more of like the final fight. Yeah.
Yes. So I feel like if they had saved that for this, but I did love Joyce chopping off his head. Loved that.
Chill. I guess I do feel like they took a step backwards with Elle's powers. Like at the end of season 4, like you said, it really felt like Elle came into her own and took control. And then it feels like in this one, Elle had less power, even though they faced off one-on-one. It was over very quick. He got stabbed on a tooth, and then Joyce
he went out Wolverine style.
He did. And
then, also Dean Winchester style.
He very much did. And then Joyce just hacked. Oh my God, it was hilarious. Joyce is hacking him to death.
The two fictional characters I love the most died in similar ways.
It's kind of hilarious. That would be another funny like social media post, but like
they're both scared of flying and they both died impaled.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess the final fight was a little lackluster between those two versus
it was. It would have been nice if there had been more at stake there. I feel like they had a bunch of the kids and they couldn't really do much like with all these kids, I feel like, because these kids were all vulnerable.
Right, I guess. And then they couldn't do this after his big scene. He came out. That was a big scene at the end of the next 3 episodes.
A lot of people seem to have issues with, but I like that.
I thought it was
it made
vulnerable.
sense. It was relevant. Yeah, it was like he needed to get out his biggest fear so that Vecna couldn't use that against him. He was forced to come out, and that's really shitty. But like, it was the 80s, man. That was a shitty time to come out.
I mean, yeah, nobody necessarily was. I mean, it's not a good time. Like, I mean, Jonathan not kind.
No, but I loved Jonathan's response because Jonathan already knew. We saw that in season 4, but Jonathan was so happy for him, and you saw that like you almost saw like a little bit of a weight lift off of Jonathan. Like, okay, my brother's gonna be okay. But then have you seen all these memes going around with what is it, Jeffrey Dahmer?
Oh my! Well, that's because when he was at that bar, the guy kind of looked
and
like
they're like,
Dahmer.
No, they photoshopped him in.
Oh, they did? Oh my God, I had no idea.
They photoshopped Quicksilver in. Whoever played the guy in.
Oh no! I didn't. I've seen the picture, not him photoshopped in. There was a legit guy with glasses. I thought that looked.
No, there's a legit guy, but I didn't think. Well, I don't know what Jeffrey Dahmer looks like. I just know what the Quicksilver
he looked
guy
like. Yeah, I guess.
But I saw one that was literally the actor photoshopped into the background, and they're like, "Poor Will can't catch a break," and I'm like, "Oh my God!"
To be fair, like terrible. Yeah, the actual scene, yes, the guy kind of looked like Jeffrey Dahmer. It wasn't. It was just.
I didn't think that. I only saw the Photoshop one with it.
I can live with Vicky helps them out with Max and hiding. They get caught by the military and then you never see her again. That was kind of weird.
Oh yeah, you don't see
And
Vicky
then
again. I
I
did
have
like though that they had Vicky there to take care of Max. It made
I
that make
right.
sense, and she was able to help in a weird way.
I'm down for that.
And I liked Max going into the other world because I was like, what just happened? And then I was like, oh, Vicky was expecting this. They were expecting this.
It was very Friday or not Friday 13th. Nightmare on Elm Street-ish when all of a sudden she gets up and she's walking. I was, some Nightmare on Elm Street vibes. I do have a problem with Susie not even being mentioned. Like at least a line about them breaking up. I get it. It's high school. Like you break up, but Susie was such a big part.
Or even like, should we call Susie? No, we broke up. We don't need Susie.
Season 4. Like they had all these moments and I would have liked some closure there. Perhaps
she should have come up in a brainstorming session. Yeah. And then they're like, no, let's go get Mr. whatever the science teacher's name is.
Right, because they always called her. And then they had, Dusty Buns and all of their singing, a never-ending story. And then
maybe communication was cut off with the outside world, but then say that. And like Argyle didn't even get one line.
I'm okay with like Argyle. I kind of get like, okay, he got them to their whatever.
He was in every episode last season.
Look, I can wave him away versus Dustin, who literally had a relationship. And it
Susie
seemed like
was in like 2 episodes.
Yeah, but he talked about her and they talked on the phone. And I feel like it was playing a very big role in his character development. And then she just disappears.
Why does your thing say Elle's dead baby?
Oh, sorry. I guess it doesn't translate very well. I was quoting from Pulp Fiction, Zed's dead baby. I was trying to quote Elle's dead baby. But I guess it doesn't translate quite well. That's
I thought I missed something. I'm like, this is
all
dark, man.
Women did die in from the blood thing. Like they just kind of all got blown up. So I guess
there's your sequel. Babies. One of the babies probably survived and it's going to be the next Vecna.
Do you think Kali actually died by getting shot in the stomach, or did she use her imagination powers to disappear and help Elle?
So I think she used her disappearing powers to help Elle because that makes more sense as to how would Elle have escaped surrounded by military people in that moment.
Well, the military just kind of forgot anything happened anyways and just kind of left and let them get,
But I do love that Hopper decided to save her. And I do think that Kali was moved by Hopper's speech to Elle because Kali has never had anybody who cared for her other than the people that the government people killed.
Yeah. Well, that's my big problem with Elle dying or the way she left the group and ending up alone, right?
I honestly hated that.
The whole thing was building up to, you can choose your own path. You deserve to have a life. You deserve to have a family. And then for them to basically be like, no, she either died. It's open to interpretation. She either died or she's off in Iceland.
Interpretation bullshit.
I did too. I think it's crap. Like it's not fair because number one, Hopper now has lost a second child. Mike has lost his girlfriend. And then Elle, whose whole storyline is building to like, you make this choice. You can choose to live. She's by herself now. Like, I don't like that. No,
I thought they were going to end it Shawshank style. Like, I thought we were going to see Mike go meet her at the 2 waterfalls.
That would have been great for me. I loved the
and he could have been like Hop says hi or something.
Anything.
Yeah,
instead
I did like
Hop
the D&D.
was just like giving him a pep talk about
just
the graduation.
Like, just knows he's alive. Yeah. I did like that Mike and Hopper have kind of bonded, but like,
at least make it so they both know she's alive. Then I guess.
Yes.
Like that would have been nice. That would have.
And she's like, "Well, you have to help them understand why I'm doing this." And he's like, "I don't understand." And I literally said, "I'm like, I don't understand."
Nobody understands, and I think that that's a fallacy of the writers of writing. Like they didn't do a good job there. I will say that we're okay. We can call that out. If Elle's whole story arc was being built up to her being able to choose, and if the military just kind of left him it's very Jon Snow getting banished to an island and then Homeboy leaving anyways. You know what I'm saying? Like it makes no sense.
Yeah. I also like, why would you cast the badass chick from Terminator if you weren't going to properly utilize
She does a whole lot of monologuing, man, and then nothing comes of it. She doesn't get a satisfying death scene. She doesn't get any actions, barely any action, I should say.
Right. And it's like, if she really thinks Elle was causing all this, is she even a bad guy? Like it didn't, I mean, obviously she's a bad guy because
they were taking blood and
pregnant women. Right. Yeah. But I felt like I even said to the girls and I'm like, no, she's a big actress. Like they're going to do more with her. Don't worry. And then they didn't.
They did not. They very like it was cool when Elle walked in and broke everybody's neck when they had them at gunpoint. All the soldiers, especially that one douchebags guy that I absolutely hate.
Or the one that plays Papa in the play.
Yep. So like that was awesome. And I was like, all right, let's go. And then for Elle to somehow hop out of the back of the truck, get into the upside down.
Right. And nobody sees her.
Blows
like
up
Kylie had to have helped with that. There's no way.
Then the military just kind of disappears. That was weird.
Maybe we just have to say, I believe.
I know.
Okay.
Whatever.
I have another complaint. See, I feel like we're just shitting on it. I did enjoy it, but like
it was.
No,
it was
me too.
Right.
Me too.
I don't hate it. Like it was okay. It was okay. It was all right. This is fine. The first hour, I freaking love. I thought the first hour was awesome. I just really have a problem with how everybody's stories bookended. Or really have a big problem with just Elle's book ending, because it would have been cool seeing Mike. That was the final D&D game when Holly's going down there with her friends.
That was cute. I liked that.
That was cool, but like Erica was nowhere to be seen, which I thought kind of sucked because she helped them so much. And then
she should have been playing D&D with them, but I feel like she can't have a serious moment, so maybe they just didn't want her in there. I don't know.
I don't know. And then
I like that Max was getting emotional about D&D. That was funny.
That was great. How that ended, and they all cried and put their books up. And then you see Derek and Holly and crew. That was great. But I don't like Elle's ending. That's my big complaint.
Yeah, but I also want another thing I want to mention. So we got the glimpse of like the play where Joyce is talking about the play and like Henry's in the play. Yes, exactly. For one, they never mention that Henry went to school with them. That's never addressed by any of them. And it's like, how would that not like have come up?
That whole play meant nothing.
It was funny though when Max is like, oh, Mr. and Mrs. Wheeler are making out over there. So clearly she's gone around all this because she knew how to jump from there to his mind. But yeah, then that was all it was. So it didn't give us any clarity on Henry. It didn't build anything. It was
just a way for them to go back and like bring in the
play. I feel like it was
force feeding us the play.
Yes, it was an advertisement for the play. And
it
like
didn't sit well.
As someone who's seen the play, I was still irritated by that.
And that's the problem, right? Is God, like, why can't we just keep things contained like this? Instead, now we have a play, and now we're
I like world building, but like you should still make like Thor 1, 2, and 3 are still satisfying on their own and build up to a bigger world.
Yeah.
So
it just
4 has some issues.
It was really frustrating. The play ended up meaning virtually nothing, and then there was other like they teased a bunch of stuff that it's going to be a Black Christmas.
Explain like where did this? Okay, I guess they're going to go more into the rock, but where did this rock come from?
Yeah, that's a spinoff now, right? Is
but
the rock? But like, why do we? That's dumb.
But this guy was clearly part of the Hawkins lab or whatever beforehand.
He was like a spy or something like that. Now we're worried about the rock, and I would have. I don't know. So
it's like we never got down to what exactly is happening or was happening, and that's why I kept thinking, I'm like, missed something. Do I need to go back and watch everything? Like, did I not get it? What am I not understanding?
It felt rushed, despite having the 8 episodes. It felt rushed, and
the emotional stuff didn't. They flushed the characters out well.
They did a great job between the characters, and everybody got their moments. And then we just kind of got to this epilogue, and Ted Wheeler's back all of a sudden. We don't care about him.
I thought it was funny that they did have him at the end. Nancy, but when you saw Karen had those gnarly scars.
She did, but then there was a continuity error with her at the top of the basement stairs at the D&D, and she doesn't have them anymore. Just like
they weren't covered.
They weren't covered, and people were like, "Oh, the scars disappeared." Just like Holly had Under Armour on, I guess, when she got taken by Vecna and everything. There was a continuity, small things like that they forgot to edit. Which whatever, internet's gonna internet. But
I feel like you have to be looking for those things because I didn't pick up on those.
No, I didn't initially, and then I saw everybody talking about it. So it's fine. It's all fine. It ended. It's okay. Like, well, I just mean I don't feel the need to get into this conspiracy that there's a big final episode. Netflix crashed tonight when we were recording this.
Brielle said if you look up fake ending, she showed me. She looked up fake ending and Stranger Things came up. I'm like, what?
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like people hey, you liked it, great. You didn't like it, great. Let's move on. We're on to the next thing. There's so many things out there you could be watching.
I think everyone's just still in denial right now.
Well, people it's the internet. Damn it.
I think I have an issue too with like when I first got into Star Wars, I didn't understand the love for it. I didn't get it. And then I watched the cartoons and read the books and all these things. And then I fell in love with it. It's like, is that what they're doing with Stranger Things? Like, I mean, they made us fall in love right away, but like, are we going to have to go and ingest all this other content to fully appreciate the overall storyline now?
I guess.
See, that I'm not okay with. Like, if you want to have spin-offs with, like, these kids, maybe they ingested something and now they have powers, or like, somebody else got hold of a demodog and raised it and still has it in its basement or something. Like, you can come up with other stories and still wrap up this story, but I feel like they didn't finish wrapping up the story for the benefit to make more stories.
Yeah.
But
yeah, it is. It's
finish what
fine.
you started first.
Yeah, you don't need, and they didn't need to just really shoehorn like a Holly storyline. They didn't need the extra kids, I feel like. But overall, end of the day, I know it sounds like we're shitting on this.
No, I really
We're
enjoyed
not.
watching all of it. I
was
really
fun.
did.
It was great theorizing,
Especially on
great
Christmas.
talking about it, and it's something that transcends generations. I mean, your daughter's 13. She watched. My son's 10.
When I started watching it,
like
when she was 3, like
exactly.
and then and then 3 years ago, Brielle got into it, and we did the Stranger Things thing in New York. Like, we've done a bunch of stuff for it.
Yeah, and so it is what it is. It's ended. It's bittersweet. Yeah, I would have loved to have seen more from, like I love Steve. Let's be honest, the 4 of them never met in Philadelphia, because as adults, like, that probably never happened.
I still celebrate Christmas with my high school friends every single year. It could have happened.
But listen, Steve and Robin had to go all the way to Philadelphia from Indiana, while Nancy left Massachusetts and Jonathan left New York. So maybe it did.
Every month is a bit extreme. Every 6 months is what they should.
Every month was not
feasible.
But it was the 80s, man. They didn't have everything going on. They
didn't have social media or texting.
They didn't. And I did love Dustin's callback to Eddie at the graduation. He flipped out the principal.
Yes.
Did love that.
Good. And I loved the moments between Steve and Dustin, like when they were fighting. I was getting frustrated with Steve. And then when you had
I was frustrated with Dustin during those fights.
But I got it though. Like, Steve was pulling his punches, but I felt like Steve was being too hard. And then when Dustin started punching him, like, Steve did not fight him back at all.
No. He was like, what are you doing, man? Because Steve, first of all, he knew he would have whooped his ass, but
right. Well, he was just holding back. But then when Dustin had that full breakdown where I can't lose you two, like, that was a phenomenal scene.
Yeah.
And then with the Steve falling, I was like, oh shit, are they going to do it? They're not going to do it. I was pretty sure Steve was safe because everybody thought he was going to die.
We did, and they teased it a little bit, but not.
It was nice that Jonathan
have to kill somebody, just to sake the shock value. But I do feel like maybe
they should have killed somebody.
Maybe, I guess, but it's all right. Do you have any final thoughts, as we keep saying how much we didn't hate this and then we keep finding things wrong? So I promise you, we did not hate this. It wrapped up decently enough. I'm satisfied at the end of the day. I can let this die or lie and be satisfied.
Yeah, I like that Steve kind of gets his happy ending a little bit, although I didn't understand the beer gut. Like, come on, dude, it's been a year and a half.
Listen, he's aging now. Okay, he's not running around chasing demogorgons and things like
1989.
that. It catches up to you. Okay, like, he's got a beer gut in his little coach, and yeah,
can you get a six little nuggets?
Yeah, his little nuggets.
I did like though when Nancy also said to Jonathan, like, that Steve was never a thing.
No, right.
I liked that they and even though they had her and Jonathan not to get together, because she got a different Steve, and like, she changed Steve in a way, but like, doesn't mean she wants to be back with Steve. Yes, in a very good way. So I did like that.
Yeah.
No. And when I like Joyce and Hopper's ending.
I do. They're getting married. They're
moving
going to Montauk,
and they're gonna go. Yeah.
Yes. Well, that's what we got. That's Stranger Things, folks. That is Stranger Things for you. We are in the middle of January. There are some big celebrations and things. It's the doldrums of January, but we got everything you need. Go to nerdinitiative.com to find our comic book reviews, and then come find us on Hops Geek News. Like, subscribe, share, follow, all of the good stuff. Goodbye for now to Hawkins. Who knows what the future may hold? Money talks. We'll see what happens.
Ta-ta for now.
I just appreciate what they did, and I appreciate that it gave all of these kids who seem really close a good light. And by the way, Joe Keery dethroned Taylor Swift on the #1 in the Billboard charts.
Did you see that? In 1 week, he defeated the Mind Flayer, Vecna, and Taylor Swift.
I'm just saying, our boy Steve, he's having himself a week, so he did it. He's up at the top of the charts. And then Finn Wolfhard's got his music career going, and he's also coming back to Dairy.
I didn't realize that,
because he's involved in it again with Andy. So who knows where that will lead? They're doing big things, man. Everybody's doing big things, and Max is going to be in Spider-Man Brand New Day. So a lot of good stuff coming. Find out. Let us know what you thought. And we'll see you guys next time. Peace out for now.